Hello and welcome back to Bad Canadians. I'm your host, Jared Michael. Here at Bad Canadians, we attempt to understand Canada's contrarians. We believe contrarians are sometimes the only people holding valuable information the rest of society desperately needs. A little different today, no guests, just me. This is one of those episodes where I really wanted to get my words right. So yeah, I wrote this one out. It's me speaking, but I wanted to be precise, and sometimes that means thinking it through in advance. I wanted to respond to some early feedback from the first few episodes. There's been a reoccurring concern, and I wanted to address it head on, so we're clear on what we're trying to do here. If you're new to the free speech space or just trying to explore some of these ideas, it can feel overwhelming. I get it. I remember the first time I started digging into all this, and it was a lot. You start hearing names like Amy Ham, Megan Murphy. You hear people debating terms like equity versus equality or challenging anti-racism as a concept. It's disorienting. I get it. So let me be clear. This show is not about turning you into a policy expert or a Bitcoin evangelist. It's not about converting you to my side. Honestly, my side is trying to listen to all sides. The goal here is to help us get back to a place where we disagree, where people we disagree with are just that, people we disagree with, not enemies, not monsters, and certainly not people we're automatically morally superior to. I think that kind of judgment, the idea that disagreement is a sign of moral failure, has become normalized. We've been trained to stay within our ideological tribes, to tune out people who don't think like us, and I'm trying to push back against that. I want to create a space where we can listen, really listen, with the genuine intent of understanding. That's the Canada I remember. We used to disagree without dehumanizing each other. I think we can get back to that. In that spirit, I want to share a metaphor that stuck with me for years, one that helped me shape the way I think about disagreement. It comes from the social psychologist Jonathan Haidt. I read his early books in reverse order, starting with The Coddling of the American Mind, which helped me see and confront my own biases. Then The Righteous Mind, which challenged my assumptions about morality and politics. And finally, The Happiness Hypothesis, where he introduces the simple but powerful metaphor, the rider and the elephant. Haidt suggests that our rational mind, the part of us that thinks it's in control, is the rider. But most of the real power, like the real momentum, comes from the elephant. It's our emotional, intuitive, and subconscious mind. We think we're being purely rational when we argue or debate, but often it's the elephant that decides how we feel, and the rider just tries to make it sound smart afterward. That's why you can present someone with like a perfect argument, even get them to say, that's a good point. And yet the next day, they're just as certain as ever in their original belief. The rider heard you, but the elephant didn't budge at all. But this is the hopeful part. The elephant can be moved, not by arguments, but by experiences, by stories, by relationships. It's like becoming roommates with someone. Like maybe 6 months in, you've built trust, shared meals, helped each other out through rough days, genuinely like each other. And then you find out they hold views you once considered totally unacceptable. Suddenly you're forced to reevaluate. You're like, wait, maybe people like that aren't what I thought. That's the elephant being nudged, not by facts, but by lived connection. And that's what I want this podcast to be, a conversation aimed at the elephant. A place where you don't need to master every argument, but where you might hear something that makes you reconsider a story you've told yourself about someone else. What worries me about today is how certain everyone seems. Like there's this deadly certainty that leaves no room for humility. Everyone is so sure their side is right, they don't leave the door open even a crack for some doubt. But for me, most of the best things in my life have come from realizing I was wrong. The feeling of, oh, wow, I had this all backwards. That's growth. Like that's real learning. I think we've all had that experience of thinking we know a little bit about something until we start engaging with it deeper and suddenly saying, wow, this is nothing like I thought. It's a very common occurrence. I think we need more of that humility. We need to get better at asking ourselves where we might be wrong. Which brings me to the question I think we should be asking, a kind of daily gut check. Am I the hater? Because here's the thing, haters always think they're justified, always. But if you're tuning out whole groups of people based on the province they're from the car they drive, the way they vote, the color of their hair, or what they wear, ask yourself, are you really listening? Or are you just hating? I think most people want good things for this country. We just see the path differently. And if we can stop shouting and start listening again, I think we've got a shot at rebuilding something worth saving. So yeah, let's keep asking, am I the hater? And let's keep talking. We've got some exciting guests coming up in the weeks ahead. I've been wanting to take a deeper dive into the conversation around gender ideology, and we're going to start that off with Eva Kurylova, Canada's preeminent lesbian, and someone who's been writing and thinking seriously about this for a long time. She'll be joining me in the studio tomorrow for a conversation I'm really looking forward to. Thanks again for tuning in to Bad Canadians. I truly appreciate everyone who's taken the time to listen and support this project. It means a lot. I'm excited to see where this can go. If you want to dig deeper into what Bad Canadians is all about, you can go to the website badcanadianspodcast.ca, where there's an introduction video and several essays I've written to explain my approach and commitments. Thanks again. Talk soon. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support the podcast, please subscribe or share with your friends. Bad Canadians, Working Class Roots, A Free Speech Lens, and Canadian Contrarians.